Ladies and gentlemen, we have two issues on the table, which we have combined. The first is the issue of the sanctions package against the Russian Federation. This is package number 18, and at the same time, it is the European Commission's proposal to stop the flow of Russian gas to Europe starting from the 1st of January 2028. We consider both of these proposals to be sanctions, which is why we have combined them into a single package and are negotiating this package together, seeking a good solution for the Slovak Republic. Let me start with the sanctions. This is already the 18th package. These proposed sanctions do not affect the interests of the Slovak Republic. You know my official position as well as that of the government of the Slovak Republic, which clearly states if there are any sanctions that would threaten the Slovak Republic and our economic and national interests, we will not vote for such sanctions. In this case, the 18th sanctions package does not affect the interests of the Slovak Republic. You know my opinion. We think it's already tragicomic that we are adopting the 18th package and still nothing is happening. The Russian Federation dominates militarily when it comes to Ukraine and is also strengthening economically. Despite this, there is still some notion in the European Union that the use of sanctions packages is a useful thing. Gentlemen, we have a proposal from the Commission which is also a sanction, and that is to stop the flow of gas starting January 2028. You know, someone might say, why should we care? And if we don't act now, there will be a gas shortage, transit fees will be 2 or 3 times higher, and the price of this commodity will skyrocket. Not to mention that we have a contract with Gazprom until 2034, and if a legislative act decides to terminate it, if the European Union stops purchasing this Russian gas, the Russian Federation and Gazprom will have the legitimate right to sue Slovakia regarding the fulfillment of this contract, because it is based on the take or pay, principal pay or take. The value of this contract is 16 billion euros. So they will sue us for 16 billion euros. And I ask, how can such a dispute be won when one side unilaterally declares that it is withdrawing from the contract and will not fulfill the obligations it has under this contract until 2034? Why is the European Commission making the decision to stop gas flows starting January 28? That is a nonsensical decision. We want to reach an agreement. That means that until then, we will not agree to the 18th package, and we did not agree to it yesterday either. The ambassador was instructed not to support the 18th sanctions package unless we have something on the table, something concrete on the table. Today, we proposed to the Federal Chancellor that we would send him several proposals. Even though some communication with the European Commission is already underway, we want to resolve all of this by Tuesday, also because the tension is rising significantly on all sides. Ukraine took 500 million euros from us when Zelensky stopped the transit of gas through Ukraine. Now we are getting gas through Turk Stream, 3.5 billion, and even that they want to take away from us. So we want to know what will happen after the 1st of January 2028. Slovakia was a safe country in terms of gas supply. Why does Slovakia, ladies and gentlemen, have probably the most extensive gasification in Europe? I almost don't want to say how much of the territory has access to gas. Households, homes, because we had safe and stable gas supplies from the Russian Federation. That's why we built the country this way. And now, because of ideological decisions, because of obsession, because of being against Russia, we're going to throw all of this away and be left dependent on whether someone will help us someday. If we at least get guarantees that after 2028 Slovakia can feel reasonably safe, then we can proceed to vote on the sanctions package. Otherwise, even at the cost of a huge crisis that would arise within the European Union, even at the cost of a massive crisis, just look at everything that has gone to Ukraine. So this is, in the context of their policy, about causing harm at any cost. To cause harm. Why on earth should we have to pay more because of Ukraine? It's all because of Ukraine. I'm sorry that there's a war there. I didn't cause a war. I truly regret it. If I take the total aid we've given to Ukraine and compare it to our GDP, we are among the biggest contributors when it comes to Ukraine. Now, of course, I'm also talking about other types of aid. Why should our people, our households, and our industry suffer because of the war in Ukraine? Can someone finally explain this to me? I'm not obsessed with Russia. I'm not. And I also reject the philosophy of the Iron Curtain, which is absolutely nonsensical. So we are under enormous pressure, but at the same time we are also creating pressure because we are saying, sorry, we will not vote for the 18th package. They've started, and I'm nervous about this issue from morning till night, because we simply cannot lose 100-0. We cannot lose 100-0. That on the 1st of January, the gas will stop flowing and Slovaks do whatever you want.